Okay, this is basically just going to be a super short, quick video showing how I knit, just like it says on the box. Basically, my mom has been sort of getting back into knitting. She makes miniatures, and right now she's working on a room box of a yarn store, so she's been knitting tiny little things and looking up some tips and stuff. And she told me on Facebook that she'd noticed that people knit differently in different parts of the world, and wanted to know if we've talked about that sort of thing on my knitting boards, which I found kind of hilarious because it seems like every now and then, pretty often, if not a debate, then at least a discussion will pop up on continental versus English and what's faster and what's better and everything. And then there's the whole thing about combined or Eastern and crossed and uncrossed and everything. So she was talking about how her grandmother taught her to knit, so this would have been like late 50s in Moscow, and her mom thought that the way she did it, the way that she and her grandmother did it, was very old-fashioned. And she also said that when we were there for Christmas, she'd noticed that I hold my yarn funny, that I do something different with my hands than she does. So she was saying that next time we're there, I should show her, or I could just make a video, and I thought that's what I would do, just make a video showing how I knit. I guess there's room here for a sort of standard disclaimer that there are no wrong ways of knitting, really. If it works for the person knitting and it produces knit material, then it works and it's right and all that great stuff. This is how I knit. My grandmother taught me to knit when I was a kid. She was Swedish, so and I don't actually remember what parts she taught me and what parts I figured out or learned later, so don't blame her for, you know, whatever I do. If anyone else wants to make a video showing just how they knit, that would be great. I love seeing that kind of stuff. But other than that, then let's just get into it. This is how I do your basic knit stitch. Come from under, grab the yarn, and push it off. This is how I purl. Come from above, pull it with me, and take it off. This is where some people will tell me that I'm doing it wrong, because it does produce a twisted knit stitch on the other side. But I just untwist them when I knit by knitting through the back loop, and nobody's the wiser. As you can see, or maybe not see, these are now twisted in that the leading leg is in back. So if I was going to knit these, I would just knit through the back leg, and it produces an untwisted stockinette stitch. If I was going to purl through these, I purl the same way through the back leg. Again, going from above, from the back this time, and pulling it through. So like I said, just knitting usually isn't an issue. What does sometimes matter is decreases. So if I was going to do an SSK or slip slip knit, I just knit these two together through the back loop. And this is what I do if I just need to decrease a stitch and it doesn't really matter what way it's leaning. But if it's specifically an SSK, that's how I do it. If I have to knit two together, I just pick them up through the back loop, put them back the right way, so to speak, and then knit two together. And that's what I do as well for center decreases or anything else where it matters which way it's leaning or the way it's going to look when it's done. And that, my friends, is how I knit. So, thanks for watching.